Hello and welcome to today's broadcast doing some mock drafting. I hope everyone's well out there. I'll wait for some chat to populate. We got 3 viewers at the minute. I think we did the 23 draft. I said the 24 yesterday. Yeet, how are you, mate? Welcome. Philly Nation, how you going, man? Yeah, good, thank you. Good to be on the weekend. How about yourself? How you boys been going? Or girls? Yeah, good, man. Who guys pick one if you were to redo last year's draft? Still be Lawler, probably. North went Finn O'Sullivan. Hey, Gary, how are you, mate? Would you look at Murphy Reid at this point? Pick 2? Where is he? Knowing what we know now, Murphy Reid gets to Carlton. Do you go Yaga? Pick 3, we don't know what he's done yet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this draft too. Need the Eagles to capitalise. This is our big chance to bloody kickstart this rebuild. Gary likes the Murphy Reid pick. I think so too. Who's the next one? Maybe Toru or... No, I think you'd probably still go Ashcroft. He showed enough. Yeah, we'll go Ashcroft here. Brizzy match it. I don't even know if they got enough in this point, but they've got enough value according to this year's rules, so that's fine. And then, do you go Toru or Langford? Or do you guys want to get into the 2025 draft? I thought I'd just do this while we populate it a bit. Toru, yeah, he showed plenty at the back end of the year, didn't he? It was awesome. I think you're right. I think we're going to go Toru. Hey, Widescreen, how are you, mate? Ashcroft could have been 1 or 2. Yeah, 100%. I think Lawler showed enough when he was actually healthy. And I think next year, if he gets a bit more of the ball, he's going to be pretty damaging. I'm just going to go down and see if there's any hidden gems. That Marshall was all right. Got a gig in the grand final. Boxall was pretty good. Gallup was awesome. There's a couple. Davidson was really good. Hey, Jamie, how are you, mate? Welcome. Just doing a quick redraft of the 2024 before we kickstart the 2025 redrafts. Who do we think? I'm reckoning maybe Langford, a little bit more consistent than Toru, I reckon. What do you reckon? I don't know who you'd go here now. I've got to double up a Christian Moraes. I can fix that at some point. Oh, and Detoli. Oh, I've got a couple of double ups. I haven't really gone over this pool with a fine-tooth comb. Toru, yeah, he went pick 5, mate. He went to the Crows in this redraft. I reckon Shanahan would be right up there. Am I missing anyone? I'm an Eagles supporter, man. Jamie, Eagles supporter. I need him to capitalise on these picks. I don't really want CDT. I would much rather Sharp. In saying that, watch me eat my words here. They'll take him and he'll dominate, which I'm all for. It's just a little bit more risky, I feel. We're going Shanahan to Melbourne. Yeah, I think Shanahan right up there. Oh, Jamie Eagles as well. Nice. Good choice. Good choice. Finn Sullivan didn't have a terrible year, sitting in the North's backline the whole time. Trainer was good. Lindsay dominated early, then got injured. That's about it. I reckon we get in the 2025. I can't believe we got Z. Who are you thinking? Do you take the upside for Smith? We don't know what the heck he can do in the... I'd probably go trainer, actually. Lindsay. Maybe Smith there. Draper couldn't really crack the team, could he, last year? Yeah, Shanahan was unreal. What a pickup he was at pick 30 odd. I think Cal Toimey had him up at like 12 or 15 at the time as well. Unreal get. All right, I think we're done with that. Marshall, you'd go him, wouldn't you? Ty Gallop, he was brilliant towards the tail end of the thing. They're going to go into deficit for that. If we don't pick him up, I think it'd be a rebuild. All right. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to bore you any further with this, unless you got any quick shouts for it. Yeah, maybe Draper. All right, let's redo it. Let's start again. Let's get 2025 up. Replace the player pool. Ready, rock. All right. What are we thinking? How's this draft going to play out? I'm with you on Sharp. If they don't pick him up, I think you could set the rebuild back heaps. It is. It's just a safer pick, and he could be someone you could ready-made starter. Put pressure on a lot of their players for an extra spot on the field. Can we do a draft where we don't take Dersma? Hi, Shannon. How are you, mate? Yeah, we can absolutely do a draft where we don't do Dersma at 1 or 2. Who do you want to go for Dersma? I mean, who do you want to go for picks 1 and 2? Philly? I really like Roby at 2, but also CDT if I knew we could get Sharp at 13. I don't think Sharp at 13 is realistic. I think if he slips past like 8, one of the other 10 teams will trade up for him. He just feels like the safest bet for a lot of different teams. You know, Adelaide could trade a future first if they're liking him. Port, same deal. What's the worst result for Carlton with the Dean bid? Wondering if Ison goes top 25. We can play that out, mate, for sure. I think the worst result was they don't actually lose that much when it goes to 7 and 8. 6 and up is not ideal for Carlton fans. All right. We're going to go with Philly's recommendation. He wants to see if Dersma's not going at 1 or 2. So who are the Eagles taking pick 1 if it's not going to be... Would you go Sharp at pick 1? I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. Props, Roby and CDT. Okay, let's do Robes and CDT. All right, we'll go CDT first. He was touted as a pick 1 for most of the year, wasn't he? Or him or Dersma was. Yep, CDT number 1 gone. All right. Next, we're looking at Roby, wasn't it? So Eagles are taking home CDT and Roby, and we're not going to bother bidding on Newland. All right. Who are Richmond going? They've got the option of they got Dersma. It's just sitting there for them. I've gone Roby with pick 2, and we'll see how far Sharp can slip before it gets a bit unrealistic. Who are we thinking pick 3? Surely Newland bid by now, eh? Richmond go Dersma and Sharp. Oh, there goes that Sharp slide. Richmond are laughing with that. So are Gold Coast. We still haven't bid on Newland. Go Dersma and coming. Yeah, okay, let's get rid of that one. We'll go Sharp. We'll go Dersma. I think Newland. We'll go Newland. We're not going to let Gold Coast get away with murder. And then we'll go Sam Climax. Yeah, you can just forget the bids. The problem is it's not super realistic because the teams are just going to take them. Their alternative is waiting 18 picks, which they're just not going to do it. They're going to match every time. It's either take your player at pick 3 or 4, or wait till pick 18. You know what they're going to pick every single time. Triple big time. Hey, Milkshakes, how are ya? Welcome. I think Richmond bid on both Gold Coast boys, then take Dersma. We can do that. We can make them pay up. So you're saying before the Dersma pick. Oh, shit. Okay, let me redo it. CDT, my bad. And then it was, who was it? CDT and Roby. Then Richmond are bidding on both Gold Coast boys. See if they can pay out. I don't know if they can afford Patterson yet. They can. If it gets to 4, they can. If both Gold Coast boys finish in the top 3, they can't afford it. They need to go in a deficit or start making some trades. And they've got next to nothing to match for the rest of their academy class. Sun's finally arrived over there. Sun's been shining all day over here. You were Melbourne from memory, I think you were, correct? So Brisbane and Gold Coast pay. Yeah, we'll get the bids, and you got to play the bids because that just makes it a bit more realistic about what would actually happen. I think Annabelle at pick 6 is pretty reasonable. Hey Whitman, not so many mods you're going to see on face value, but I'm really working towards getting this thing out to you guys. So a little bit of stuff behind the scenes. Maybe. We'll see how we go. We had a cold spring. It's proving a bit difficult. But if you guys got any recommendations for it, let's just keep them coming because I'll try and put them in for sure. I think Annabelle goes at Essendon bid if you think about list needs. Oh, we can bring it back to we can bring that back to Essendon. Who's Richmond taking pick 2? They've got Dersma. They'd be loving that. So Richmond have landed Dersma in this fantasy mock draft. State of Origin game going to be interesting. I like the players that have been named so far. WA would have been a solid side 3 or 4 years ago. Dean Bid comes in. Yep, I can see that. Richmond could do with a another key back. Carlton have burnt both their picks, their early picks. But they get an earlier compo. They get their compo at pick 19. So that's that bad boy there. When he falls at 6. And then I'm probably thinking Annabelle now. Brizzy are probably laughing at this point. What do you guys reckon? So Richmond is still on the clock and we've had 7 picks already. Do we still think Xavier Taylor? Can you add a draft order from a previous year as well as the players who went in that draft? Yeah, I've already loaded in a few drafts. I've loaded in the 2024, 2021 and 2023s at the moment. We can do that. I'm going to go through, I'm going to bring it back all the way back to the probably 2000s because I really want to do the 2001 Super Draft. So I think a redraft of that Super Draft would be unreal. But what I want to do is add like little, all Australian jackets and Brownlow medals and little markers for that. I think that'll be pretty cool. That's in the to-do list. Yeah, exactly. Fife, Cripps, Buddy. You'd have McGovern and you'd have Alex Rance back there. It'd be pretty tough to beat. Sammy from South Australia going to Richmond. I know exactly who you're talking about because he whose name shall not be said in chat. That's him. That's him. All right. Essendon are up. But with the draft order from the year, or not just this year's draft order? I'll show you. I can do it in a sec. It's got that. I've saved it with the draft order of that year that went. So yeah, you get both best. Can't talk. Best of both worlds. Essendon goes Sharp. Oh, there goes my boy, Sharp and Taylor. Man, I want Eagles to take Sharp so bad. It was so frustrating watching them try and win a centre clearance this year. Where do I rank Grill? I'd say like 9 to 12, I reckon, with Grill. Hey Lou, how are you, mate? Welcome. Carlton going to take Dean and Ison as they promoted O'Keefe to senior list. So we'd use a late pick for him. That's 3 picks. That would mean they trade 11 for the future pick. What do we got here? I've got 3 picks in total for Carlton allocated. I've got Harry Dean and the 2 remaining. It's just a matter of whether they can match Ison, which with that many points already, they probably can. They got 11-13. So they're probably going to be able to match Ison provided Harry Dean falls as far as 6. Melbourne take Farrow and Nan. I like the Nan call. He's got a big range of outcomes. Where's Farrow? He's usually up the top somewhere. There he is. Yeah, I think in this scenario, if Harry Dean gets bid on 6, I think that's what the threat about Eagles taking, or not taking Dean, but just forcing their hand a little bit. It makes it harder for him to take Ison. Like the difference between pick 6 and pick 2 is another 1,400 points that they've got to pull out of the air. Where's Nan? Nan was about the 20s when I did these rankings. 20s to 30. Oh, he's down a bit. He's way down. What's going on here? There he is. Draft Sharp at 13. It's not a super need for some of these better teams like a Hawthorn. They've already got like Newcomb that can extract the ball. Giants have obviously got Tom Green. You know what I mean? Like Melbourne, they did have Petrarca and Oliver, so they've still got what's his name, Viney. And you'd hope Langford and all them start to get a bit of size about them and start getting under the pack a little. So they're not a super need. Essendon, who's their real? What's his name? Younger fella's coming on. He's really good. There was a picture of him in the gym that got released not too long ago. It looked like a giant unit. A normal scenario where Harry Dean gets to Essendon's pick and then Essendon trade 21 and 27 for Carlton's 9 and 54. So let me read that again. A normal scenario where Harry Dean gets to Essendon's pick. So you need Harry Dean to fall to pick 9 in this instance because Richmond and Eagles have done what they've done. Harry Dean, Carlton may as well just pick Harry Dean with pick 9 anyway and keep pick 11. There's no point to that one. They just take Dean with 9. They don't have to match points or anything. They just use him with their regular pick and then they keep pick 11. Durham, that's him. Durham, yeah. Very handy player now. Hawks are taking Schubert. They've got Hawks have got a few tools coming through. And then we got no, because pick 9 at that point would be pick 13. No, not in this scenario. So we've just gone. The Eagles have gone away from Dersma, and Richmond have ended up Dersma, but the same 3 have ended up. Oh, sorry, I see what you're saying. So it'd be pick 8. But they could just use pick 9 and 11 and still get a much earlier compo pick. So that's pick 19 when he falls to 6. But if he falls to 7 or 8, like you're saying, that compo pick will move up to, 17 or 16. The lower that Harry Dean here goes, the lower he goes down this column, the higher this compo pick goes up because they don't need to match as many points. Giants take Grill. There he is. He slipped a bit. I think he'll be going in the top 12. I think everyone wants speed in today's modern game. Good options here for the Eagles. All right, so let's have a look at it. Lindsay's handy. We need kickers. We've got McCarthy. Hopefully he can continue what he's doing. But if you pair him with Lindsay, we might actually have some decent distribution out in the back half. Would be nice. Filippo. I don't have too much interest in Filippo coming to the Eagles. Doveston would be handy. We're losing Liam Ryan and Cripper's on the way out as well. Noah Long, we don't know what we've got with him. He's always injured. Mitch Marsh could be handy. Someone to complement Shanahan and Waterman. Ollie Greaves is another big boy to extract the ball a bit out there. Oscar Taylor, don't know much about this guy. I think he's a bit of a running machine, wingman kind of player, isn't he? Comes out kind of a bigger bodied midfielder, so he could be a good option. Currently, the wingers we had Hunt Jaden Hunt, he's gone, and what's his name? Blonde-haired fella. We picked him up in the rookie draft. Jack Hutchinson. He was on the other wing. I would go with, or Harley Barker. Harley Barker's the midfielder I was talking about, not Oscar Taylor. My bad. Yeah, I'd go Lindsay, to be honest. I reckon Lindsay would be a good pick. What do you guys reckon? I'm happy to change it. Yeah, I think so too. Just anyone with some sort of skills would help the Eagles. Just to alleviate the pressure because it's just they play hot tomato. What's a hot potato? Hot tomato. Hot potato. And they just feel like they're under pressure constantly. So someone that can just do a spot kick and just slow it down a bit would be nice. Who's the next best sharp in the draft? I'm not the most authoritative figure in this type of field. Ollie Greaves, probably. He's a big boy. He's a big boy and he's not really known for his pace, but he still will rack it up. Finds the ball. There you go. Tall, strong-bodied mid who shields the ball, feeds by hand and follows up. Big on ball, who can absorb contact. Yeah, not too dissimilar. Needs to sharpen kicking under pressure to fully weaponise his size. So, yeah, Greaves would be my pick maybe, yeah. All right, so we didn't get sharp, is that what you're saying? So we didn't get sharp, so we'll go Greaves instead. We can do that. I wouldn't mind Greaves. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, a few people. Monsoon, welcome, mate. Monsoon saying Barker. Jamie saying Barker as well. Barker's the one that got injured halfway through the season, didn't he? Is my understanding. So he's got a bit. Who's his comparison? There you go. Jared Lyons and Matt Crouch. Ball winning mid who tracks the play and keeps pressing it out. Yeah, we really need someone to bury their head under the pack and dish it out because even Harley Reid doesn't even really do it too much, and Hewitt kind of just wants to run through it rather than get that first handball out. I think I'd rather that than Lindsay. Yeah, we're happy. Greaves is fine. Greaves is not a bad pick at all. Barker's ACL. Yeah, that's the one. That's what I'm thinking. Macabro is very unrealistic. If you restart one, could you get Carlton to trade up an early pick before the Harry Dean bid? Yeah, mate, we can do that. Not a problem at all. You have to remind me when I do it. I'm going to restart this soon. We'll probably try and get to end of the first round, which is Hawthorn. North start the second night. We'll see. We can do the end of the first round. We can do that scenario for you, man. Not a problem at all. Who are we thinking for the doggies? The most common pick I found over the last week or so has been Threadgold, a defender. They've got obviously elite midfielders and 2 elite forwards to build around. Doveston's still there. They've got Cody Waitman and West as small forwards there already. I'm sure they've got a few others I can't think of. Campbell saying it's going to be hard for Carlton to trade up in front of the pick because I think they want to accumulate first rounders for next year. They've got a second eye on Cody Walker that they want to focus on than investing too heavily in this year's draft. That's my understanding. I think Lindsay Threadgold probably takes long to develop. Who's the other Dogs' key defenders? You got Rory Lobb. I'm trying to think of the other one who played back there with him. They're all like mid-sized guys, aren't they? Yeah, we can try it out, Macca. Not a problem. No, that's a beauty of this thing. We can do realistic. We can do unrealistic. We've got the time. We can do it. North and Dog swap pick. All right, let's have a look. Let's see how that plays out. So North want to trade up. North want this pick. All right. Doggies. Pick 16. So you'd go 23. I don't think 42 would get it done. How many picks are the Dogs taking? 42 would bump in front of... So 23 would bump in front of 29. 42 moves pick 50 up 8 places. Nah, probably not. How would you do it? 16 and 50 for 23 and 42. I don't think they'd even bother giving 50 back because I think 50 can be 50 is that pick that they traded with West Coast for the future fourth. I'm pretty sure that's earmarked for a late Will Darcy pick. But in saying that, it doesn't matter because you just give up your next best pick. So, 50 or 67 doesn't matter to them. They're going to do the same. Let's have a look. So North win that trade. As far as the index counter, that doesn't mean anything though. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, who are North going? North are on the clock. Where are we? Run draft. Who are we thinking for North at pick 16 with this player pool available? O'Donnell. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, Gary. We've made a trade. Someone recommended a trade. I saw it. Whitman. Who are we thinking for North? Lindsay. Not a bad get for him. Clarko would like that. And then we got Adelaide. Adelaide got a pick of the South Australian players short of Sam Climax. Mitch Marsh, Ludowick, Threadgold, Barker, Hibbins Hargrove, Swade, Adamsall, Cody Curtin, Kai Fincher. Yeah, Doggies can probably get Threadgold a little later. Here you're nearing this portion of the draft. You're nearing the better teams, the teams that are closer to the top of the ladder, rather than this end. So they're going to have different needs. So some players would probably drop a bit, I reckon. Who are we thinking for Crows? Crows are taking Barker. I heard Cal tell me, I think it was on Gettable. I think he was saying Barker can go right up into the 12, 13 region as well. So that'll be interesting. Sorry, Whitman. Widescreen beat you to the punch there, man. And we got the Geelong. Doveston for the Cats. Who are we thinking? Hibbins Hargrave. We can do that. And then we got Carlton's compo pick, because remember Carlton's compo pick was for a bid at pick 6. So they can take Ison here if they wanted, or go a different route and see if they can beat Ison. I think they probably might not be able to though, because take 800 points off that, you're looking at 334 points left over. Then you need Ison to fall to pick 36. Anyone Geelong Falcons is Geelong? Carlton are loving it. They are, but I don't know if it depends if they want Ison here or if they want to try and wait again and see if they can get him with the third. The thing with Barker is that he was solid in the top 10 to 15 before he got injured. Yeah, okay. It's funny how you dock these players simply because they've been injured, but like you look at Jagger Smith last year. He got injured. It could happen to anyone. I think Judd fell to pick 3 because of his shoulders. Eagles loving that. He was Judd was far and away the best kid in the class, but his shoulders were busted apparently at the time. Probably carrying all his junior teams. As much as we need a small forward, I don't want Doveston. I want Marsh. Who do you support, Macca? Carlton, I'm assuming. I've heard a lot of Carlton fans saying they do want a small forward, though. They're not liking who they've got now. You can have always back if you're that desperate. Freo. Carlton, yep. So you wanted Marsh, eh? We can do Marsh. You're the Carlton supporter. Let's do it. Let's play it out as Marsh. Doveston falls again. There we go. Joel Selwood slipped to 8 as he had bad knees. Yeah, that's right. Hawthorn took that Thorpe fella who never played in front of him. I think they may have got Rioli in that draft, though, from memory. I've got a feeling it was that same class. Always was good at Carlton. That's what people seem to forget as well. He kicked 32 goals or something as a small forward. That was more than Papley and a few other players, like who you generally consider a good small forward. Always was kicking more than them. Carlton only have 3 live picks as O'Keefe is a rookie upgrade. So you reckon Ison? So you don't think we can see if they get Ison? I think Ison will get picked around that 25, 26, and they already don't have enough points. They might just need to trade up. Freo takes Doveston then. Yep. And we got 2 more picks in this first round, the first night of the draft. Who are we thinking? Swade for Essendon here? Who'd they end up? Essendon ended up with Sharp and Taylor for their first 2 picks. Sorry. Who do they pair with Sharp and Taylor? The other Taylor. Done. Hey, Ado, how are you, mate? Will Cochrane or Walker go number 1? Who next year do you think? I haven't seen enough of them. I'm one of those guys that only watches the YouTube highlights like everyone else. If I had to guess, from what I've heard, probably Walker. When you're racking up 40 disposals with ease, it's hard to ignore. And Hawks take poo. We can do that. All right. That's our first round, guys. Let's reboot it. Go through it. Eagles ended up with Taylor, Sullivan, Roby, and Ollie Greaves. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I'd change CDT with Sharp, Roby, and Greaves. That would be unreal. Adelaide ended up with Harley Barker. Brizzy ended up with Annabelle. Carlton went Dean and Marsh. Essendon went Sharp, Xavier Taylor, and Oscar Taylor. Does anyone know if they're related? I don't think they are. Freo went Doveston. Geelong went Hibbins Hargrave. Gold Coast, Yulin Patterson, same as every other draft. Sydney went Grill. Hawks went Schubert and Filippo. Melbourne went Farrow and Nan. That was a nice early surprise pick. And that's not unrealistic either. I have heard that he has everyone looking at him, this bloke. Lindsay for North, targeting some kicking. Richmond went Dersma and Cumming. They got Dersma sliding to 5, which we find is going to be unlikely, but who knows. And then Eagles, CDT, Roby, and Greaves. All right, what have we got? Can we do Carlton's pick 11 and future first and 48 and then Carlton 9? We can do that, Campbell, for sure. And someone else had a request earlier up the chat as well. If you could remind me of that, we can put that one in this one as well. So Carlton's pick 11 to the Crows for what was it? To the Crows for the future first and 48. It's going to make it a lot harder to. Let's look at this. Future first, let's say pick 15, 16, 17 or 18. So top 4 finish for Adelaide. They ended up with the minor premiership this year. I think top 4 feels reasonable. So let's say pick 15, 16 and 48. Yeah, it's pretty close. We can do that. What was the other one? I think it almost definitely happened if Tigers don't bid on Dean as Essendon. Oh, he had his second trade. And then Carlton 9 and 54. 9 and 54 for Essendon 21 and 27. Carlton are losing points again, which I don't think they want to do, but how does that help either team? 2 picks in the 20s. I guess that helps for that bid, match that bid. That doesn't matter if pick 9 to 21 doesn't affect Carlton either way. And obviously Essendon get some more trading power. We can do that. No bidding on Harry Dean. This in theory secures Dean, Ison, and yeah, it does. I think you're right. I think it's not going to happen though, I reckon. It was Carlton trade up higher before a Dean bid and could we still match Dean. So what we've done here, we've traded 9 and 11 for 21, 27 and a future, what was it? Yeah, you've traded out 9 for 21 and 27 and 11 for pick 48. Oh, I've got to bake in some zoom in on that. All right, that's another one. I've got zoom in here and I've got zoom in here, but not there. Okay, there you go. Another bug. This is why we do this. I'll get this thing perfect for you. If it was Carlton trade up higher before a Dean bid, and could we still match Dean? Carlton gain the theoretical 150. Yeah. Essendon will need to give pick 30 also for... I don't think they would do that because they've got their own players to match in Nan in around the 20 mark. Where's Essendon? Good hand. You could see Essendon trading up for pick 2 with that hand for sure. All right, who we got? Who we doing? Desmond Ewan, 1, 2. I can't do junior club. I can do state. So these are your South Australian prospects. What was the other question? Filter by position. I can do filter by position. The problem is I've probably got it too refined. I've got like midfielder, defender, medium defender, rather than just, forward defender ruck. I've got ruck forward, and it'll give us whoever's a ruck forward, whoever's a defender midfielder. Actually, I've got to take the state out. There you go. Category B rookies. Defender, that I've probably got a little bit too refined on that. I've got to do some tweaking. CDT for Eagles. All right, let's do it. Sorry. Let's get back into it. So let's go Ewan. We're pretty comfortable with that. Where's Ewan gone? Oh, shit. I've got to do those trades again. How annoying. Sorry. That was my bad. 9 and 54 for 21 and 27. And then Adelaide future first and 48 for pick 11. No bidding on Harry Dean. All right, let's do it. So, Ewan. And then someone said CDT. Yeah, let's do CDT. Why? I found a new bug. Ah, I know what it is. I'm in West Coast. There he is. I'm not under all clubs. That's what it was. Sorry. I've got to make sure that resets into when I press reset. Reset club filter into all teams. Okay. Richmond bid on Patterson, then Annabelle. All right. What are Gold Coast doing? Are they going into deficit, or are they going to not match, or we make a trade? What are you thinking? 35 points deficit's not going to kill them. $35 points probably won't even affect them much if they're in the 18s. Yeah. Yeah, 35 points. If they win the premiership, they wouldn't even drop a spot at that point. Yeah. 15's the big one. They need to do that before Yulin gets bid on. You need to do your Gold Coast trades before Yulin, because as soon as he goes, they burn 15, 18, and 24, and that's all their most valuable commodities. How likely is it that next gen academy or academy kids that don't get matched on, for example, would want to return home in a few years? I don't think it really affects anyone, because at the end of the day, every single kid that gets drafted is leaving their junior club and things like that. I don't think it really matters. You're going to be excited. You're going to be joining the big leagues. And I think once you've had 3 years for the club to sink their teeth into you, I think that return home factor, I think it's a bit overstated, to be honest with you. I don't think it's as, what's the word? Victorian teams hold on to WA players pretty well, and Eagles hold on to whoever they get as well. Dockers, I haven't had too many go-home factors either. Essendon takes Taylor and Sharp. Who are we going for Richmond here? I reckon Roby is a good chance. And yeah, I think Saints bid on Liam Henry initially. They really wanted him at the draft year, and Dockers went into deficit to retain him. That was one of the only times a club's ever gone into deficit. Bid on Annabelle, we can do that. Where is he? There he is. So Brizzy match it, and they get a compo pick at about pick 41. That'll end up being about 34 when it's all said and done. There, it's already at 39. Who are we going with Richmond's second pick? Tigers take Grill. Yep, I've seen that. Been linked a few times. So we've got a pretty realistic draft here. Someone said Essendon's pick earlier. Where was it? Any reason Doveston and others would have been at Essendon training today? Depends on who he's currently playing with, and if that team's got an affiliation with Essendon or not, I guess. I don't know his backstory. Taylor and Sharp, they don't bid on Harry Dean because of the Carlton trade. Hey, that makes sense. I like that. So we'll go Taylor and then Sharp. Oh, Sharp didn't make his way to the Eagles again. God damn it. Essendon take Taylor, Sharp. They don't. My point is, even the next gen academy still request trade if they want to leave. Yeah, exactly. I don't think an academy player. You play where you want to play, really, and they're all grown adults. Like you're gonna make new friends, and you're gonna be training with the boys for 40 hours a week. You're gonna make your friendships that way. I think that the go home factor is very much overstated. It's just something for the journos to write about. Roby's is Bombers fan. I've heard that Sharp's a Bombers fan as well. So yeah. Melbourne, Dean into Farrow. We can do that. So Carlton are laughing here. Watch where their compo pick ends up. Oh no, we made trades, didn't we? What were the trades we did? We got rid of 9 and 11. That's right. For a future first. And these picks are about to burn. That's right. Sorry, I'm with you. And their compo picked around 45. There, it's already up to 44. There it is. Into Farrow and Schubert. I think Farrow's another one. Same with Grill. Farrow and Grill are going to go in that 10 to 12 range, I reckon. Best ways for clubs to find a girlfriend for the players and they don't leave. I think enough of them had enough groupies as it is. They'll go to any pub or club and they'd be fine. Just say you're an AFL footballer, you should go okay, you'd think. Oh, Cumming. Okay, Cumming won't go past Melbourne. Yeah. It's either him or Sharp who's really widely regarded the best out of that South Australian team, isn't it? That South Australian team just dominated from all accounts. Cheers, Macca. Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate it. Spread the word. Who are we thinking for Essendon's second? Well, this is the one they've traded up with Carlton for. So they've ended up Taylor and Sharp. Who are we thinking for next? Essendon's new dynamic trio. Probably coming here as well, though. What are we thinking? Yep. Done. And we got Hawks. Hawks are up next. Pair up the South Australian boys. Yeah, that's a good trio that they've done there. And they haven't lost anything by doing it, have they? When's their next pick? 25. What was their trades to get there? 21 and 27 for pick 9. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Lindsay's going to the Hawks. Done. And the Crows. Yeah, Essendon would be loving that. Taylor, Sharp, and Cumming would be massive. That'd be a great get for them. Hawks taking Barker. Sorry, man, he's already gone. Lindsay went to the Hawks. Crows are getting Barker now. And then we got the Giants. No one knows who the Giants are taking. Every year, no one knows who the Giants are taking. Crows Barker. Yep, got Barker. Who are we thinking next? A trio of Roby, Taylor, and Doveston would feed families. was going to say, we didn't do that one this one. Oscar Taylor to, yeah, I could see that. And then West Coast. Who did West Coast take? Dersma, CDT. Best available. Would you take Doveston? Who are we thinking? Yeah. Doveston's going to the Eagles. Yeah, we're going to need small forward help pretty soon. And then the Doggies are up. Nan, like it. I like it. Who are we thinking next? Crows for, I reckon, Marsh for Crows. Filippo? All right, done. I'm still not entirely sold on his brother yet. Every time I keep an eye out for him, he's injured. Marsh. I know Saints fans swear by him, but I just don't feel like I've seen enough. Frio. I'm thinking Frio take the Pickett. Geelong are going to do some bidding. Who are you thinking Geelong for some bids? That's that. We can explore that. Keep everyone honest. Jai Murray. All right, let's do it. That's going to screw Gold Coast quite nicely there. See, they're going to be 673 points in deficit, which is massive. Would they match, you reckon, or do you reckon it just goes to Geelong? I think that's probably too much. I think they're just going to have to say no. It's going to Geelong. 670 points next year. If your pick 18 gives you, hang on, let's have a look. 678 leaves you with 150 points left. That brings your first rounder all the way back to pick 45. I think they just go, nah, he's going to Geelong. Yeah, they wouldn't go that far into deficit, no chance. Not for a bloke that far back. So he's going to Geelong. Actually, I think Gold Coast have sold their first, so their first would be even further back than next year's first. Yeah, they've only got a second rounder, so their first pick would be it'd be Melbourne's. Let's say that would be about 23. They'd have no points for any academy players at all next year if they did that. Freo, we went Pickett for Freo, I think, from memory. Just trying to find him. There he is. Hawks taking Greaves. Freo would be on Harry Gate. Oh, we've already gone Pickett for Hawks. They're going to do a second push for Cozzy. I think they've already got one of the other cousins. The little round fella in the forward pocket at the minute. bid on Swede for North. We can do that. Thread Golden Marsh for North. We can do that. Done. Dudley. That's him. That's the one. Always forget his name. He was a good pickup as well for Dockers this year. Who's Sydney taking? They could probably match one of their academy players, really, if they wanted to. Yep, Thread Gold's going to North. Because he's a dud. Dudley the dud. I like it. I'll pay it. Jamie, next mock. Eagles trade picks 1 and 2 for 14. Yep, we can look at that for sure. Plus a future second round goes to Essendon for 5, 6, 21. I'll look at that one. I think that heavily favours Essendon though. Yeah. Who are we thinking for Sydney? We're about, how many more picks to the end of the first? Oh, we're already at the end of the first. I missed it. All right, sorry, let's reboot it. Adelaide walked away with Harley Barker, Jevon Filippo. Brizzy walked away with Annabelle, as always. Carlton walked away with Dean, as always. Essendon, after their trades, which were, what they do? They got 9 and 54 for 21 and 27. They walk away with Taylor, Sharp, Cumming, and Swade. Freo got Pickett, Geelong, Jai Murray from the Gold Coast Academy. Gold Coast walked away with Hewlin and Patterson, like always. Oscar Taylor for GWS. Hawthorn got Lindsay and Greaves. They'd take that. Not too bad. Melbourne, Farrow and Schubert. North got Threadgold and Marsh. Richmond ended up with Roby and Grill. West Coast, Dersma, CDT and Doverston. And Doggies ended up with Cam Nan. All right, let's reboot it. We've got a few other, what do we call it? Requests. So, an idea for the next mock. Eagles trade picks 1 and 2. It's going to have to be a nice bounty for 1 and 2. You're going to piss off a lot of Eagles fans. 1 and 2. Oh, 1 and 2 and 14. They haven't got 14. So who's got 14? Unless you're getting confused. 13, I'm assuming. Yeah. Plus a future second. Goes to Essendon for 5, 6, and 21. No chance Eagles do that. Nah, that's not even remotely close to fair, I don't think. Oh, pick 1 goes to Essendon. Okay. Now you're talking. That makes more sense. 5, 6, and 21. Okay, you're talking more sense. Sorry, I'm with you now. Oh, okay, you want to do 7 and 8 for... I know what you mean here. So let's look at it. 5, 6, and 21. So 2 is obviously for the 5 and 6, which is, in Eagles fans' minds, it's pretty fair. Essendon are like, nah, too much. But Eagles make it a bit tastier with pick 13 going back. So, yeah, I think that's doable. And then you're looking at pick 1 for Melbourne 7 and 8, which is probably a fair trade. Yeah, there you go. Under par as a points index is pretty much identical. When is Melbourne's next pick after that? 37. Eagles could probably even really throw a 41 back to make it Melbourne's. No, I don't think. Eagles have got the number 1 pick in that. So let's just do that. There you go. So you got West Coast with those 4 picks, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that's what you meant. So you've got pick 1 for 7 and 8, and pick 2 for 5, 6. You'd almost do it the other way around. You'd give Essendon the pick 1 for 5, 6, 21. They're higher value picks than those two. So who's Melbourne going in this instance? They've managed to get the trade across the line. Eagles could walk away with it. Yeah, handy pick. So they end up with one of, who do they end up? They end up with one of Dersma, Sharp, CDT, or Roby. But in all likelihood, one of Taylor or Grill will go to Richmond. North future first for one of those West Coast picks. It'd probably be the back end one. Would be the pick 8 Eagles would give up, you'd think. West Coast have picked 58 and 80. Yep, correct. I can zoom in for you. That one there. So really, if they don't do any trades and they don't match a bid, Eagles could think about trading back 21 and 34 and picking up another future second or something like that, especially if that's going to be their 5th player that they're taking. Because you'd think it would be one of Tyler Williams or Charlie Banfield. The other one will probably, if Banfield can get through the whole draft undrafted, to be a play on. Rookie list, potentially. Dersma, pick 1. Let's do it. Melbourne, go on Dersma. Oh. Why is that not populating here? Here we go. Essendon, who'd they trade up for? CDT, I'm assuming? West Coast trade 21, 34, and 40 for Brisbane 17, maybe. Yeah, that could help Brizzy match a Annabelle bid. If an Annabelle bid comes now, I think they can't match it. Yeah, they're in deficit 200 points. So let's see if that trade gets them there. So Brizzy, what did we say? How many points were they in deficit? 202, wasn't it? Sorry, I just got to read it. 204. What was it? 21, 34, and 47. Remember, they're only going to be using pick 21 as a usable pick. Yeah, Brizzy pick up 400 points, even if they get rid of that. Oh, they're 2 points short. Oof. Yeah, you got to throw that in and then maybe take a pick 51 back. That's a bit of a fairer trade. 21 to 34 for 40 still gives the Eagles a chance to match it. All right, let's carry on. So, Dersma's pick 1. Yep, we got Dersma pick 1 and we got CDT pick 2. Who are we thinking next? Gold Coast 15. Yeah, they could trade up for 15, that's true. I think Hewlin gets bid on here by Richmond. Some bids now, so I'm thinking Richmond, Roby, Sammy from South Australia. Let's do it. Roby. And then Probably Annabelle gets bid on here, I reckon, or Patterson. Yeah. And Sammy from South Australia. Hey, Okada, how are you, mate? I'm working on it. I'm trying to get it to you. We're just we're in the debugging phase, and yeah, man, I'm trying to get it to you. I'll try to get it to you for free. Just like, subscribe to the channel, man. I'll get it to you. I'll be giving it to the subscribers first, obviously. But yeah, for sure. Just keep updating. I'm trying to do it behind the scenes. Patterson, yeah, Patterson's gone. And then who are we thinking next for West Coast? This is where West Coast take that top 4. I reckon Annabelle. They'll bid on Annabelle. Match bid. Yep. Thanks, Orchida. Thanks, mate. The Cats, I've got no idea. I think the Cats are going to wind up some teams with some bids when they roll around to their pick. Would be my guess. And then they'll get someone that slides. They're in a good spot for getting the slider of the draft, I would say. Bid on Dean as well. Let's do it. So what pick are we up to now? Pick 8. So Carlton are pretty happy with that. Their compo picks at pick 18, which will probably move up to pick 17. Yep, there it is here. Sharp, Schubert, and Farrow. I like it so far. I think your best bet's probably Marsh. I think Barker's getting a bit of hype about him at the moment. And I think Cal Twomey said he's going in the top. Good chance he goes in the top 10 to 15 for Barker. And he's a much better, authority on this stuff than I am. For sure. And then who are we thinking for West Coast 4th pick? They've traded out of pick 1 and 2, and they've accumulated picks 9 to 12. Who are we thinking? For the 4th pick, I would go... Ooh. Maybe a Lindsay? Sharp, Schubert, Farrow, and Lindsay would be my pick. Oh, Taylor. What am I doing? Sorry, ignore me. Didn't even see him. Yeah, that's a great get for the Eagles. Is Grill a fit for us? I don't think so. I think Grill plays in a similar manner to like a Hewitt or someone like that. And we don't get enough, clean, open ball that he would really relish in. So I'd be happy with that for that West Coast hand. Sharp, Schubert, Farrow, and Taylor. If I had to swap any of them, it'd probably be Schubert. I'm pretty happy with Jobe Shanahan. Where would Dean go if he wasn't a father-son? Hey, Mark, how are you, mate? I'd say he would be around the 7 to 9 mark, I reckon, would be fair. Key defenders are, when you get a good one, they're worth a top 3 pick, but it's just a matter of getting one. But from all reports, he's universally regarded as the best one in this class. So, yeah, I think 7 to 9 is fair, and I don't think 3 or 4 is a super reach either. I don't think if you really feel that you need one. 2 to 4, yeah. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. You just got to weigh up what other options you're giving up, don't you? So if you look at your team list and you go, do I want like an explosive midfielder like Roby, or do I need to shore up the defence with Harry Dean? That's what they're going to be weighing up. Doesn't matter though. Well, Carlton are going to be getting him anyway. Can we do a mock draft without Chat's help predicting what I think would happen? including the trays. We can give it a go. I don't want to bore you guys with my stuff, but we can, if you like, if that's what you guys want, I can do it for you. No worries. I've looked at quite a few, that's for sure. Yeah, man, I can give you what I think should happen or could happen. You can tell me where I'm being unrealistic. So, who are we thinking for Hawth? Grill this pick? Let's do it. Ado, done. Who are we thinking for GWS? I'll give you a sneak peek. I was going to do a video on it myself, but yeah, I'll give you we'll just do an ad hoc one, like on the fly, and we'll see how we go. Who are we thinking for GWS? I've got not a clue for GWS. No idea. So that's as much as a stab in the dark as any of them. So we got Essendon. This is what they got to pair with CDT. Essendon's pick 15. Yep, we've gone GWS. We've gone Doveston. Yep. Would Essendon take an Oscar Taylor? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And then Doggies. Up the top, we've still got Filippo, Lindsay. Doggies would take Lindsay, I reckon. I think they'll take Oscar Taylor in that instance, pair with CDT. Greaves keeps falling, eh? I think Greaves is not far off a top 10 talent. It's just there's just a bit better options the whole way up. Thanks, Jamu. Thanks, mate. If you can like and subscribe, all that business. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Have a good night. Lindsay for Dogs. Let's do it. And then we got Carlton. So this is Harry Dean and Carlton's next pick. That's actually the compo because it slipped so far. Who would Carlton take next? Barker or Marsh for Geelong if available. I think Barker could get there. What do we got? We got another 4 picks, possibly. I think for Carlton, Hibbins Hargrave maybe? Or a small forward. Jevon Filippo might fit the bill for him. And then I reckon... oh, that's a good call. Yep, I like that. Pickett for the Blues. They do that for sure. Where is he? There he is. Nan's still slipping. Yeah, probably Filippo. I reckon Marsh for Adelaide. Marsh to replace Kerner. That's a good call too. I'm wondering if they're going to bother replacing Kerner, if they're just going to one tall option with Mackay. So West Coast got picked 19 out of this one, along with 9 to 12. So they could take Ollie Greaves here. That would be wicked. Or even Harley Barker. Maybe Greaves, I reckon. We've gone Mitch Marsh with Adelaide's one. And then Geelong, I think you're going to get Barker. I think we had a cat supporter. Where was he? Barker or Marsh? You're not getting Marsh, so you're getting Barker. Sorry. Freo miss out on Pickett. Who did Freo go? Hibbins Hargraves, maybe. Not sure Carlton have the small forwards to be able to play with one key forward. Yeah, that's probably true. I think they're going to struggle. They picked up, not that I really rate him. What was the Sydney players? They picked up one good Sydney player and one pretty ordinary Sydney player. Ollie Florent, yeah, not that great. The other fella is awesome. Or for some reason, he's just got that name I always forget. Freo Noah Hibbins Hargrave. Yep. Leon Kickett to Freo. We've gone Hibbins Hargrave. Dale? I'm not sure if I've even got Kickett in here. Let's have a check. I hope I do. Yeah, I do. Sweet. Okay, that works. I might need to update that. I've got his range as 60 to 90, so you might get him as a second rounder, I reckon. Hayward, he's the gun. Hayward will be their next best forward after McKay this year, for sure. Hawks taking Filippo, yep. We'll take that. And we'll go North. We'll just get North involved and then we'll reboot it and we'll do a new one. Who are we thinking for... Who are North taking? Who are we thinking for North? I reckon the... where is he? Thread Gold would be one of them, and then they'd probably bid on King. Keep Sydney honest, because that'll at least burn one of these picks. When Sydney, same with Essendon, you may as well bid on Swade and one of Sydney's academy players because it bumps your picks up a bit. They're going to have to burn 2 picks just to match your one, if that makes sense. So let's go Swade. Oh, they only have to match it for bid 25. They've got the next one because they've got the... so really you really... What we should have done, let's just take back that Thread Gold pick and see if they can match it with the first one. Oh, they can still match it. So that's that discount. They get 84 points because it's the second round. It's a bid in the second round. It's just a flat 84 points in the second round. So they can still match it. So 653 turns to 569. Just get that out of the way, and then you take Sydney's one. Sydney, they might not be able to match. Where is King? Yeah, see? So that helps you, your next pick just by making them burn the second one. And then you'd go Thread Gold. Yeah, North bid on everyone. North are in a prime position to just to bid on a ton of different people. Would you take Ludovic? Do North need forwards? You got Curtis, you got Suvlaki. They probably do. North just need players everywhere like the Eagles do, don't they? No doubt Hawks bid on Swade after the Merritt debacle. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, definitely. I can see that happening. I love it how much those teams hate each other. It's awesome. Who would Essendon take at 27? Well, they've got Swade's already gone, so let's go... let's see if Gold Coast can reach Adensell. Have they got enough? They've just got enough. He's gone. And then North would take... They'd probably bid on Carlton's Icon. Yeah, so they can't match Ison at this far back. Carlton won't want to go into a deficit either because they want to match Cody Walker next year. So I would go for North Melbourne. Riley Onley's got a bit of hype about him. Let's go Onley for North. And then Essendon. Who have Essendon taken in this draft? Essendon have taken CDT, Oscar Taylor, and Swade. Would you pair him with Cody Curtin? Pair Caddy? Cody Curtis to St Kilda. Yeah, I just saw that too, Matt LaRose. I'm going to have to delete one. Unless there's two guys named in the same draft class. I think Cody Curtin is not a bad shout for that pick. Ludowick's still sitting there. You reckon they need another mid? All right, well, let's have a look who the mids are available. Lockie Carmichael. Hunter Holmes. You'd think Geelong would want to pair Hunter Holmes with Max Holmes, wouldn't you? His brother. Lot of father-son and academy players through here. Nan would be a good one for Essendon. Bit of everything. Rodriguez has slipped this year. Dalton. Don't know. I don't know for Essendon. Sorry. Indecisive. Let's go Bob. I was thinking, yeah, Nan. You like Nan? I think Nan will go a lot earlier than pick 28. I saw him. I just saw him a second ago. Where was he? There he is. All right, should we reboot it? Let's do another one, eh? Get in your trade requests and we'll play it out. So this one, we'll just do a quick recap. These are the trades we did. We did a Essendon traded pick 2 for 5 and 6, and then West Coast leveled it out a bit more by trading 13 back for 21. And then the next trade we traded away pick 1 for Melbourne's pick 7 and 8. That left West Coast with picks 5, 6, and 7 and 8. You can see that those 4 players here. And then West Coast also bundled up all their tail end picks and moved back into their 17s. All right, so that was the one. Oh, you guys want to see mine? All right, we can do mine. Mitch Marsh went to Crows. Annabelle, as always, to Brizzy. The Carlton ended up with Pickett and Dean. Essendon ended up with CDT, Oscar Taylor, Swade, and Nan. Where are we? Freo got Hibbins Hargrave. Geelong ended up with Harley Barker. Gold Coast ended up with Hewlin, Patterson, and Adamsall. They matched their 3 academy players. GWS ended up with Doveston. Hawthorn ended up with Grill and Filippo. Melbourne got Dersma, and that was it. They traded up for him. Took pick 1. Threadgold and Onley to North. Richmond took Roby and Cumming. Sydney ended up with Max King. West Coast ended up with Sharp, Schubert, Farrow, Taylor, and Greaves. Western Bulldogs ended up with Josh Lindsay. All right. Your mock trades and draft, no chat input. All right, I can do that, but I can forewarn you that it's going to be heavily favouring Eagles as I'm an Eagles fan. All right, so that's just a disclaimer. Let's get that clear early. Right. What I think could happen is I'm thinking Essendon trade up for pick 2 for CDT. To get that done, they are going to trade with Gold Coast, and it's going to revolve around that pick 15. Thinking 21, 27 for pick 15. All right, so this opens up the option for that trade, and it also, that's what it does for Essendon, and this trade also benefits Gold Coast because they're picking up those extra points for Patterson. All right, and then Essendon are going to then work that into a West Coast trade. Pick 2, West Coast move back 3 spots. And to get that trade across the line, they bundle up pick 15. All right. So let's get that done. So Essendon have given up a pick in the 20s to get right up to pick 2. Eagles have moved back 3 spots to pick up another earlier pick here. Then you'd go, I believe that 13 and 34 has been agreed upon with the Carlton. Carlton want extra points. They get a little bit of extra point help there. And then Eagles end up with 1, 5, 9, and 15. That levels out, doesn't it? Yeah. And then we're going to do my scenario. All right. So it's going to involve heavy bidding and making everyone pay early. So I'd go Dersma. We're pretty happy with that. Newland. I think Gold Coast would still. They've traded pick 18. They're going to be active before the clock starts running. So they're going to get rid of that pick 18 for sure, I reckon. And I think their best option, most realistic option, would be North, and then they end up with a big chunk of point accumulators there. Where are we? So 25, 26. Gold Coast are going to end up with a bundle of points here. You'd probably throw back a 52 because that's still going to be a usable pick for North to get it over the line. Where's North? Yeah, so they'll end up with pick 18, 46, and 52. So that's still usable for them. They still picked up, how many points did they end up picking? They picked up 273. So they've picked up a bundle of points with the Essendon trade and a bundle of points with Gold Coast. That gives them a good chance at Patterson and one of those Addison or Murray bids when they come along. So that's why it all benefits them all. And let's play it out. I reckon the bid comes in from Essendon. Essendon are going to wind up some teams. So we'll go Newland is widely regarded the next best player. Essendon will then go for CDT. That's who they initially targeted for that pick 2. And then Richmond are going to keep Brizzy honest, burning that pick. And then also for Patterson, Gold Coast have got enough to match it. Everyone's happy. They're then going to take Roby and bid on Harry Dean. I then think they're going to take Xavier Taylor. I apologise if I'm going too quick for you guys. Hopefully I'm spelling it out for you a bit. So I think everyone's happy at this point. Eagles take Dersma. Gold Coast got their players. Essendon got their player. Brizzy got their player. And Richmond could be happy with Roby and Taylor. Carlton would be stoked with pick 7. They were probably hoping that Dean slipped a bit further, but he probably wouldn't have slipped further than the Eagles at this point anyway. Eagles take Sharp. That's who I want for my pick 2. And Essendon ended up with Sam Cumming as well. So CDT and Cumming. Melbourne will take Schubert. And I hope they don't, but I think they'll take Farrow. Do I think Farrow or Lindsay? Or I think either or it works out for Eagles, but let's say they take Farrow and the Eagles will take Lindsay. Hawks will take Grill, who slipped a bit in this draft. GWS, as I said, I've got not a clue who I think they'll take. I'm going to go with this one and Oscar Taylor. Same with the Doggies. Again, no idea. I think they're set in their forward line and they're set in their midfield. They really do need to target their back line. So Threadgold's the best option here. you take a Harris-Andrew comparison. And then the Eagles finish off with Doveston. We're losing Liam Ryan, and Cripper's only got a year left in him, I think. So that would almost be one of my dream scenarios there with Dersma, Sharp. Ideally, I'd like Farrow there instead of Lindsay, but Lindsay and Doveston. I just think Farrow's might be a bit unrealistic. I think Adelaide take Filippo. North, I'm not too sure about. This is who they've traded up for. So I think someone with a bit of versatility, because he's going to be plugging holes everywhere. I think either Nan or like a Hibbins-Hargrave even. Who am I going to go here? It's a good question. Tell you what. No, we won't do it. We'll do it with Geelong. We'll go Hibbins-Hargrave for North, and then Geelong are going to wind up Essendon with a Suede bid. Essendon go into deficit by 20 points. That won't affect them too much next year. And then who do Geelong want? Geelong could take Greaves. Actually, they'll probably take Harley Barker. They'd be happy with that. I think Freo need a small forward as much as anyone. Pickett would be the play here. And then Hawks. Who we got left? Greaves. I think Greaves, because was pretty much part of their academy more or less. He missed out by a few months or something. Something happened where he didn't quite qualify to be part of their academy. Sydney have just brought in Curnow, and what is Sydney missing at the moment? Maybe just some half forward flankers, pretty much. Ludovic could help. Logan McDonald, they've already got a Logan McDonald. Let's have a look who else is ref. They'd probably just take their academy boys, I think, here. They're around the right mark, especially if they like them. Let's go King and Kyle. If I can find him. There he is. 26. So this is the one that Carlton were hoping that Ison would slip to. Makes sense there. Who else is sliding here? Someone's going to be sliding for sure. Mitch Marsh for sure. Where are we? Pick 27. Yeah, we'll go Marsh. Carlton. Don't know with Carlton. Who have they ended up on this one so far? Sorry. Dean and Ison. They need a bit of everything. I'd go maybe an Adamsall bid, which Gold Coast match, because they've got enough. And then maybe just another midfielder. What do you reckon? Do you want me to keep going, or you happy with that? You want to discuss? Let me read the comments. I haven't been reading them, sorry. Can you do a crazy top four? Hey, Tommy, how are you, mate? Welcome. Sorry I didn't see your chat earlier. Can you do a crazy top four? All NGA, then West Coast basically pick 5 to the open draft. We can do that. You want to burn everyone's points? I like that. Imagine Gold Coast come prepared and got him with pick 1 and 2. Cats trade back in for Marsh. 2076 first rounder pick for North Melbourne for Marsh after the Barker pick. Over here somewhere? Is that what you're referring to? We can do that. I'll save that. I'll save this one at the moment. This was my mock take 1. I'll do a I'll do a proper video for this at some point, probably over the weekend, where I actually take some time to look at it. But yeah, that's off the cuff. I can see that happening, and I can see all teams kind of walking away happy. I don't think anyone really got screwed over with any, extortionate trade or anything like that. What did we do? We did 15 for 21.27. So that benefits Essendon by opening up that door for the trade up to get their guy in CDT. Gold Coast get their points. Yeah, I think that's still somewhat doable. All right. Do one more and then I might call it. I've got to go get some dinner. So let's do, where was it? Someone requested they wanted all the bids to come in the first 4 picks. Let's do it. So, who are we thinking now? We're thinking Yulin goes 1. And probably Annabelle next. Do you think Annabelle pairs up well with Harley? If so, West Coast first pick is Annabelle will make the rest of the draft interesting. Yeah, I do. I think anyone that can get clearances, or anyone that can assist with clearances, is going to help Harley, because Elliot Yeo missing last year absolutely murdered him. It was just brutal watching. Every time the opposition kicked a goal, you just knew, you're like, oh, here we go. They're going to get smoked again, because they couldn't win a centre clearance to save themselves. Let's go Annabelle. I'm happy with that. It's a lot of points to go into deficit, though. Match the bid with deficit, 944 points. So let's assume Brisbane end up with a 3-peat. Pick 18 is only worth 836 points, so they're going to have 0 points. So that'll push that all the way back to pick 54. Their first rounder for next year I'm talking about. I wonder if Brisbane would even do that. They might not match that if they did that. And then Newland. Gold Coast have already got enough to match 1. Patterson and Dean. They're going to go into deficit, not that much. Again, let's go to the top 4 picks. It might jump it back to about pick 22, which will still help the Eagles if they win the spoon again. And then Dean at pick 4, which pushes their, what do you call it? Compo pick back. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I think there's a good chance they could pass on that. 900 points is a massive hit for next year, especially if your team's going to be flying. You may as well just say you're not going to take part in next year's draft at that point. All right, who are the Eagles taking here? We've still got 2 picks to pick from. Yeah, I agree. Oscata, yeah. It's the prestige of having the best kid in the land, It's not going to, we got this guy at pick 1, pick 2, because we wanted the other guy. They just won't do that. So Dersma, we're happy with that. Who are we? I want to see. I don't want CDT. I'm sure he's going to be fine. He's probably going to be a superstar, but I want the safer option or the more exciting option in Roby, ideally. Who do you guys want to go with the Eagles' second pick in this one? Let's do it. I'm happy with Sharp. Yeah, Hewlin's fine at pick 1. I think Annabelle might be a little bit unrealistic. Hewlin was even from last year, I think, he like an underager. He was right up there from day one. Let's go Roby, annoy everyone. Let's do it. Maybe we can get sharp on the next one. Where's Eagles' next one now? It's like pick 15. It's dropped all the way back already. Richmond CDT. We think if he falls as far as Richmond's pick, Richmond would be happy to take him, I think. Who we reckon for Richmond's second one? So I usually look at Xavier Taylor, but I'm happy to go off course a bit. Yeah, I'll take a break in about 5 minutes. I'm trying to do some work behind the scenes to try and get this thing to you guys as well. But I need to have dinner. Grill. Let's do it. And then we got Essendon with their 2 picks. It's going to be Sam Climax usually. He usually goes with this Essendon pick at one point. One of them. Yeah, I've seen Grill mocked to Richmond quite a lot, which is a good match. It's not like he would fit them for sure. Taylor and Sharp for the Dons. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. All right, let's go Sharp to the Dons. Who's Melbourne going? Surely they go Sammy boy. Yep, we're going Sharp and Taylor. Yep. Tommy and Ado. Done. Who are we thinking for Melbourne? Check on. Hello? Probably Schubert and Cumming, I'd imagine. There's a slim chance Farah could fall to the Eagles. Oh, I know what happened. You guys have all been getting... I always forget. Sorry. I bet you guys have been getting blanked by YouTube for saying your surname. I keep forgetting to warn everyone. It's that bloody surname. Who are we thinking for the next one? Yeah, I think Farrow, he could go to the Hawks. Wouldn't mind getting him to the Eagles, but I think you're right, Ado. I think it's better to be realistic in these scenarios. So I'm not disappointed on draft night. If you guys are keen, I'm probably going to do a stream on draft night as well. We can go through it together. It's always exciting. See where they end up. Pop in, have a chat. GWS, they could literally pick a guy, that we've got down the back here, and it wouldn't surprise us. Maybe Ollie Greaves. Who are we thinking? All right. I think chat's gone a bit quiet. I'm gonna go off too as well, Ado, mate. Thanks for tuning in, man. As you guys could head off, if you could like and subscribe, that would be wicked. Any support, greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. Obviously, there's not going to be a ton of AFL content, but yeah, if you could help us out, that would be awesome. I'm going to be doing my best to get this thing to you guys as well as quick as I can in the most secure fashion as possible. Yeah. So enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye. Where's my thing?